What's up, everybody? Y'all riding today? Yeah. Who said no? Welcome to the Peloton Studios. I'm your host, Angela Yee, and I'm excited to be here with you all today. You know we're celebrating a massive milestone. Y'all know what that is? My girls. That is my song. Season 10 of Sistas. It is 2026, and you know when the show premiered? In 2019. It hasn't just changed the airwaves, but it has changed the conversation around sisterhood, ambition, and what it means to truly hold it down. How many of y'all here with your sisters today? And I see some of mine in the room. Hey, girl. Okay. Well, today we're going to dive deep into the endurance it takes to stay in the game. Are y'all ready for this? All right. Well, to get us started, we have three phenomenal women. And I mean phenomenal. I know all three of them, so I was so excited to do this panel today. And we have been chopping it up, and we're excited to bring the conversation to you. So they're going to talk about what exactly it means to grind behind the scenes. We have an actress and singer and a mother, all right, who always brings the fire, Serayah. Hey, Serayah. We also have a multi-Grammy-winning voice and co-host of the Mama's Den podcast, Melanie Fiona. And she is also a mother. And the woman who literally keeps us moving on and off the bike, and one of the newest additions to the Sistas crew, Tunde Oyeneyin. All of y'all look amazing. Hey, Tunde. We're at your house now. Okay. Well, we see the curated reels and we see the red carpet wins, but the hidden hustle is what happens when the cameras are off. So I want you all to give me one word. What is the heaviest part of your hustle right now? Melanie, we'll start with you.
Guilt.
Wow, that was deep.
Guilt. As a mom, as a wife, as a daughter, as a friend, as a creative, you cannot be in all the places at once. And so something has to give all the time in order to be somewhere else. And so I'm really working hard on, as a mom, not carrying the guilt of honoring myself and doing what I need to do for myself, and teaching my children to celebrate that in me because I celebrate that in myself.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all can clap. It's fine. They're like, should we? All right. One word. What's the heaviest part of your hustle right now, Serayah?
Ooh, heaviest part. I would say something along those lines, but I would say it's more for me, it's like time management. I'm a new mom, and so I feel like my brain is still coming back chemically. So a big part of what I'm currently going through is just figuring out, managing, getting back into and just in managing my time and what life looks like now.
Are you good at asking for help too when you need it?
I'm not the best,
Okay.
but I do have a lot of support, so I'm getting better at that. And yeah, definitely asking for help is the key.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely getting better at that.
All right. And Tunde, what would be your one word that is the heaviest part of your hustle right now?
First of all, hi, everybody. Hey. And I hate to have my back to such beautiful people. Time. Like, maybe if you asked me last week, I wouldn't have said the same thing. No, maybe if you asked me 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have said the same thing. But right now, it's time. It's like fitting it all in, finding space to have it all happen. I believe that, people always say, like, how do you find balance? I don't know that I believe in balance. I think you have focuses, like, this is a season for this is a season for that. I'm choosing to prioritize. But right now, there's so many things that I want to prioritize, and I don't want to let go of any of it. And so my answer today is time.
Well, you've been doing amazing from what we can see and from what I've seen. And let's take it still with you, Tunde. On those lines, how have your definitions of success changed from when you first started to now?
First started what? Life?
Oh, your career.
My definition of success 10 years ago, let's say,
Okay.
versus now. My definition of success 10 years ago would have been how many dollars are on my bank account. My definition of success 10 years ago maybe would have been status. I say that because for many years I was in a job that I hated. I got really real with myself one day and I said, Tunde, do you love this job or do you love your title? Do you love this job or do you love the respect? And I loved the title. I loved the respect. I loved that people wanted that job. Today, I would say success is joy. Like, success is finding joy in the work that you do. Success is finding joy in the people that you're with, the company that you keep. Success is being true to yourself. And I think that I'm still trying to find success. I think 10 years ago, I would have said, girlfriend, you are successful. And now I think 10 years later, girl, you are blessed and you are really searching for success. Like to feel like I'm fully in joy in all areas. I'm happy, but in full joy. That's success.
Okay. I'm going to ask you this 10 years from now again. Okay.
Come on,
Yeah.
speak it. And I'm going to say, girl, I'm the
I
most
am.
successful.
Melanie, we'll do a 10-year challenge since we made it 10 years. How have your definitions of success changed from 10 years ago to today?
Similarly, I think, 10 years ago, it's the accolades, it's the height of the career, it is doing all the things. Although 10 years ago, I became a mom, so that changed the game a lot. But I would say the thing that is success to me now and understanding is freedom. Freedom to choose, freedom to be, to exist how I want to exist on my own terms, to not compare myself to anybody else's level of success, for me to have the freedom to have peace, to choose that every day over, what some might value as a prize. Peace is the prize for me. So, being able to live happily, healthily, joyful, and to feel free in my life and my choices and to know that I don't have anything dictating how I choose to live my life.
And I literally feel like we had that conversation before
did,
we came out
backstage, yeah.
here. Yeah. Serayah, what about you? 10-year
Oh
challenge.
my gosh, they took mine. No, I'm just kidding. No, I feel for me, success definitely was what I was doing, and how good I was doing it, and how maybe even being recognized for doing it. But now I feel that it means to me just to be present and to be able to really fully just be in the moment. Because I think 10 years ago, I wasn't in the moment. I was always in the future or in the past. And a big part of my daily thing with myself, our weekly thing, is being in the moment and showing gratitude and understanding that, like she said, like my walk is my own. And being there with real people at real time, because sometimes we tend to escape when we're in moments. So that makes a lot of difference to me, to be able to be with my family and really be there, or to be with my son and really be there, to be with my fiance and really be there. So I would say presence.
You guys talked about time management, time a minute ago, and I want to ask, and Serayah, we'll start with you. How do you distinguish between good tired from a hard day's work and the actual soul exhaustion of burnout?
Burnout, honey. Burnout for me is going against self. So for me, it would be when I was doing work tirelessly that I didn't want to be doing. Or doing work tirelessly to meet someone else's standards or people please, like all those things burnt me out. But now when I have a full day of work that I enjoy and I feel like I'm crushing it, yes, I'm tired, but it feels much lighter. It feels more like accomplishment.
Love it.
I love it.
All right, Melanie, what about you?
I think, tired. You said burnout versus
A good tired,
good
and
tired.
burnout.
So a good tired for me is a day full of things that still leave me feeling energized. That even though I won't continue to do things because it's the end of the day, but I still feel energized. Burnout tired feels foggy. It feels irritable. It doesn't give you a good night's sleep. you know, it's the unfulfilling.
It's like you pass out.
Yeah, like you're crashing and you're just you're not actually even resting because your soul is so depleted, and that's really what it is when you have given so much of yourself for something that doesn't fill your soul back, whatever that is, in whatever role you play. That is the burnout that is unsustainable. That is the burnout that leads to the crash out, okay? And we don't want to crash out anymore, okay? So I think it's that feeling of accomplishment that you do get at the end of the day, that you still have energy. You look forward to the next day of the ways you get to show up, the way you choose to show up, not just the ways you have to show up.
And Tunde, what about you? That exhaustion that is burnout or a good tired?
There's nothing that Serayah and Melanie didn't already say. The sound of my voice right now, like I've run myself ragged over the last 10 days. And it's like, I'm tired, physically like exhausted, but my heart is good. Like my heart feels good. I love the question because I feel like it's a good daily check-in I'm gonna put this into practice. Tunde, are you good, tired, exhausted today, or did you burn out? And then I think that it will cause me to reflect on my day and then start to say, okay, what was a note? Like, why did the burnout occur? And what do I not need to repeat? When I go to bed, I have like a little, 2 days ago, a friend texted me and she was like, oh, how was your weekend? I told her everything that was, happened. And she said, oh my God, how did you do that all? And I literally said, because I wanted to. I think that's good, tired. I wanted to.
I know. I realize when I'm burnt out, when I have an attitude with everybody, and then I got to check myself. Like, why am I being so mean? It's because I'm running myself ragged. So, Melanie, what's your go-to self-care ritual that isn't just a treat but a necessity for your survival? Is it a specific mantra, a physical practice? Is it a boundary you finally learned to draw?
Child, I still be figuring it out every single day. It changes. I think for me, it is, and this is just a particular personal season that I'm in, it is loving myself more. It is focusing on self-love in such a way that whatever I thought I was doing to exercise and practice self-love, like how much deeper can I go? I think that we hear a lot about self-love, and I think that I've always felt like, yeah, I do love myself. And if you were to ask me, are you a self-loving person? I would say yes. But this year, in this season, I have asked myself, how much more can you love yourself? And what does that look like? So it does look like boundary setting. It does look like understanding that the things and the ways that I used to operate, if they don't serve me anymore, they will not be operating from that place anymore. So it's really about more self-love. And what does that look like for me? Now it looks like carving time out for myself unapologetically, not just fitting time in. Waking up early in the morning and going to the gym before sometimes the sun is up and my children are up, and I know that I've given myself that time. This weekend I took an impromptu trip to Jamaica. I had to get away from the snow, and that was something I wouldn't have done recently. I wouldn't have giving myself permission is truly the practice of how I am navigating that and honoring that for myself. Is giving myself the permission to do for myself and to do good things for myself.
Tunde, what about your go-to self-care ritual?
First, I want to speak to something that you said, Melanie. When I turned 40 in December last year,
Are you a Sag?
Yes, are you? When's your birthday?
No, I'm raising one, so we'll talk after.
Wait, is it a boy?
I need all, what's that?
It's a boy or a girl?
A girl.
No, she's gonna be great.
Oh, she is great.
Okay, yeah.
I want to be her.
She's figuring it out.
100.
She's
got it
gonna
figured
be
out.
great.
She's got it figured out, honey.
Yeah, she's
We
like,
gotta talk. I need all the tips.
everybody, is there anybody that has a Sag female in your life that you don't get along with? Everybody gets along with Sag females. The men, different story. I don't claim them. I'm gonna piggyback on what you said, Melanie. Speaking to love, so it's funny. I turned 40 December 5th of last year. Hey friend. And one of my teammates, her name is Katie Wong. She's an instructor here at Peloton. And I have this really terrible habit of when I turn an age, I start saying I'm the next thing. So when I turned 26, I was like, 26 is so dumb. That sounds stupid. I'm 27. And then when I turned 29, I couldn't wait to turn 30 because what is 29? So I always say the next thing. And so whenever I turned 39, the whole year, so December I turned 39, December I turned 39. In January, I kept saying, I'm turning 40 this year. I'm turning 40 this year. So it's February, and Katie looks at me and she goes, stop saying that. And I was like, I'm 40. She was like, no, you're not. We're in our 30s. And so I spent all of last year just like gallivanting around town with Katie, and everything we did that was just like, ratchet or fun or crazy or whatever, we would look at each other and say, we're in our 30s. And 30 was such a wild year. 39 was such a wild year of expansion and growth for me. Like it set me up for the reward that has been 40 thus far. When Katie shook me that day, I happened to come across something on Instagram, and it said, be wildly in love with yourself. Because we've all been in love with your life. Because there are people that you might say, especially in a relationship, when a relationship comes to an end, you say, I love them, but I'm not in love with them. Be in love with your life. And so my self-practice is, as weird as it makes, I'm about to say it out loud and I feel kind of embarrassed, but my self-practice is I wake up, because what I used to do, wake up tired, and some days you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, okay. And then some days you look and you're like, oh my God, my face is so puffy. Oh God, you just start picking apart. My thing is I wake up before I look at myself in the mirror, I lay my eyebrows down with my hands so that looks a little better. I press off some of the oil that I know is gonna be on my nose. So I'm setting myself up for success. And I look at myself and I just find something to admire. I find something about myself to adore. And I just allow myself to be wildly in love with myself in that moment. And then that trickles out into the energy that I play into this life that I'm wildly in love with.
I love that. I'm going to try that.
Try it. It's hard at first because you're like, God, what do I like? Nothing. And then you start finding something.
Like, what do I not hate?
My teeth are white today. Great.
Serayah, tell us about your go-to self-care ritual.
I love that. I want to do that now every day. I think we all should. For me, I think, there's layers and different things I like. I like to do different things all the time. But for me, it would be like making sure that I get to have my quiet time. I'm an only child. So like, I don't know. I just have to like escape sometimes and do my journal and do whatever that looks like to me, write a song or, whatever that looks like to me, I feel the most like I'm giving back to myself. I would also say with that, I would definitely say to like get out and treat myself to something. So that would be like taking myself out somewhere or allowing myself to be in the moment with whatever I'm desiring in that moment. And sometimes it feels like you don't know when you're going to get like the next piece. So you're just like, oh, I really want to get away and like do this thing. Right. So I really bask in the joy of taking myself somewhere and treating myself and doing something nice with self. That always makes me feel so much better. I can collect my thoughts, things like that.
Alone time is important.
Alone time is so important.
It definitely
For
is.
me. For
Yeah.
me, yes.
I think for everybody,
For
right?
everybody,
Like,
yeah, right.
we all got to have some time to ourselves to think. All right, now let's start with you on this one, Tunde. Many of you occupy spaces where you are the first in your family, in your industry. While there is immense privilege in opening those doors, there's also a very unique pressure to never stumble. How do you give yourself permission to be human rather than just a pioneer? And what is your practice for finding a soft place to land?
I don't think I look at myself as a pioneer. And I think because of that, I don't feel a weight. That weight. Like I think about my parents, Sistas and Veronica Oyeneyin, who emigrated here from Nigeria. They came here with the goal of creating a better life for their children than the lives that they had for themselves. And so for me, they are the pioneer, you know, like for me, like any immigrant, children of immigrants in the room. Yeah, yeah. Oh, the men are so cute. The men, they stood up for the women to sit down. I like that. If you're a, I'm speaking to the children of immigrants because maybe you'll relate, and if you're not, maybe you'll still relate. But it's not that I feel the weight of being a pioneer. It's I more so feel pressure of living, like making their hard work mean something. Like my parents aren't here anymore. My parents are both have passed. And still, what I do for them. Like, you know, I've talked about this with friends, but sometimes some of the most, one of the most difficult things about my success, my life, my blessings is all the time I just want to turn to my mom and like say the thing and hear her say she's proud of me or hear her laugh or hear her say, what? You got them to do what? They paid you how much? Like, you bamboozled them? Because there's so many things I don't know how to do. And my team tells people I know how to do it, and then we just figure it out on set. We figure it out on the stage. We figure it out. And my mom would laugh. And even though I know what she would say, like I know what her words would be, the desire is to hear her say the words. And so for me, it's not, I don't feel a pioneer. I feel like they drove the bus and they gave me the map and they said, just like, you know, don't mess it up, figure it out. And so it's not a pioneer. Everything I do is through legacy. And to me, there's not a heaviness in that. There's a pride in that. There's a pride, like, because I know they'd be proud and I know that, you know, yeah. I don't feel heavy there, Ange.
Okay, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? We only have a few minutes left, so I want to get to a couple more of these that I think will be fun to answer. I would like for you to share, Melanie, a moment where a no or a setback saved you from a version of success that would have broken you.
The year was 2012. I was living my best life in New York City. And I was at the peak of my musical career, experiencing the highest of highs, the accolades, the awareness, the money, all of it. And in the midst of that, I lost my voice. Whiskey. I literally lost my voice. I couldn't sing these huge ballads that everybody had known me for, that I had won the awards for. I started to struggle with my vocal cords, and it was nothing that had to do with anything physical. It was completely spiritual and completely emotional and completely energetic. And that was when I had to start saying no to the path that I was headed on by valuing all of these things and prioritizing these things ahead of my peace and protection and my higher self. Because God clearly told me, I gave you this gift. What you gonna do with it? You're going to get caught up in all of this stuff. You're going to worry about arguing with trolls on Twitter. Like, what you going to do? You're going to get caught up in gossip and all these things that like were really being dangled in front of me that I had to say yes if I wanted to continue to get to this other level of success. And I had to do it. And God was like, nope. I'm going to really have you redefine what your purpose is here right now. And the only way for me to understand that was I had to start saying no. And in an industry like entertainment, especially for women of color, we are made to feel like, oh, you better not say no because you don't know when the next opportunity is going to come. And it's like, my opportunities have already been ordained and written for me. So why would I operate from a place of fear? And so that changed the trajectory of my life. And that no really saved my life. And that no established an awakening and a connection to God that was missing. And that 1 year of my life was so transformative that it has set up what I value as success now for myself. So yeah. A lot of people don't know that story, but like, you know, they were just like, she stopped doing music. I was like, no, she never stopped doing music. She just found purpose.
Period. This is an amazing panel so far. Okay. Serayah, who is the sister in your life that you call when the spotlight feels too bright and the hustle feels too heavy? How do they help you reset? I know you're an only child, so there's got to be somebody that you call.
Oh, my best friend. My best friend since sophomore year in high school. I call her. I tell her everything. Honestly, she doesn't. She's not in entertainment, so she doesn't always understand everything, which is nice sometimes. Yeah, it's nice. But she always has such sound wisdom for me, and I'm like, how did you get this? Like, she gives me the best advice. She's always very like she's either a sounding board or always just someone to talk to and vent to, or who gives me great advice just from a wisdom place. And she always holds me accountable and, you know, lets me know that I'm not alone. So that is like, she's kind of like my safe haven there. Non-judgmental, just all the things. She's just there at the drop of a dime. You guys have a friend like that who is just there, like, girl, what's up? What you need? I got you. Yeah, she's that type of person, and you don't come across that too much. So I really, really value that relationship, and she's the person I go to. Her name's Simone.
All right, Simone.
Shout out to Simone.
All right, well, to close this segment, ladies, if there is one woman in this room today struggling with self-doubt or burnout, what is the one thing she should do for herself, not her business or family, but herself, before the sun goes down today? One thing for yourself today.
Thank yourself. Thank yourself. You found time. You found space to be here. You made the arrangements. You carved the time out for yourself to be in community with women during Women's History Month. You created the space for yourself. And everybody who created this space for you to be here, like, thank them. Thank each other. See a sister. See how you can connect with someone today that helps lift your load a little lighter tomorrow. How can you be in support? How can you be in community? But thank yourself, because it took you to show up for you today. So thank yourself.
Okay, we could do that. Tunde, what would you say?
You said one person, one sister that's here right now who's
Struggling with self-doubt, with burnout, what should you do for yourself? Not for your business, not for your family, for yourself.
I would say, and I believe that that's true for someone in the room, I would say, I think that our words have so much power. Like the words that you're whispering to yourself because you don't speak it out loud. I think those words kind of stay in a loop. They go around and around and around and around and around. And it's the only thing that you hear, so it becomes what becomes. Write out the vision for your life, not the plan, not how to get there, not who the players are. Just write out the vision. Like, what does it look like to live a life that's not tired, like you're not burnout? What does it look like to live in peace? Freedom is the word you used earlier. Write it down. I think our words have so much power. And I think in just getting the words out, it pushes you into a space where you fight to realize how to get there.
And Serayah, do you have some last words?
Ooh, that was so good. One thing I like to do is to notice. I'm such a big believer, like where you're at is where we're supposed to be, all of us right now in this room, right? So I would say I'm a big write. I'm a big like physical. I love to write physically. Like the computer's cool, but I love to handwrite. So I'm with Tunde. I would say to write out your gratitude list. Something every day, actually, every single day, if you could, for 30 days, write out 5 things that you're grateful for, and you'll start to realize that like you keep like, oh, what else? What else? Okay, now the trees, the sun came up today. Like you really start to get down to the nitty gritty of like, oh, I'm breathing, you know, like I'm able, my mind is right, like all of these things. So I would say to write out your gratitude list and really give that time to yourself to sit, like Tuna say, and sit and really visualize what that is for you. But the gratitude has really helped me as well. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you all. And give it up one more time. For Serayah, for Melanie, for Tunde. That was honestly so amazing. Just a great, great space. You're right. We're all meant to be right here where we are right now.